The Unseen Hero, a tale from World War II. In the heart of the Second World War, amidst the chaos and devastation that engulfed the globe, emerged tales of ordinary individuals performing extraordinary acts of valor. This is the story of Thomas Carter, a young soldier whose journey through the dense forests of Europe during one of the war's most brutal campaigns exemplifies the courage and resilience of the human spirit. The year was 1943, and the world was on fire. Thomas Carter, a 20-year-old farm boy from Devonshire, England, felt the call to serve his country. The serene fields and quiet life he knew were left behind as he enlisted in the British Army. Basic training was rigorous, transforming him from a naive youth into a disciplined soldier. He quickly learned the ways of warfare, his instructors molding him into a weapon of resilience and resolve. Thomas's battalion, the 82nd, was deployed to the Ardennes forest in Belgium. The dense woods were a natural fortress, crucial for both the Allies and the Axis. As the trucks rolled deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with anticipation. The towering trees and dense underbrush created a world of shadows and whispers, where every step could mean life or death. The soldiers moved cautiously, their senses on high alert, knowing that the enemy could be lurking behind any tree or rock. It was a cold, foggy dawn when the silence of the forest was shattered by the crack of gunfire. Thomas's unit had walked into a German ambush. Bullets whizzed through the mist, striking down men with terrifying precision. Thomas hit the ground, his heart pounding as he scrambled for cover behind a fallen log. The enemy was well hidden, their positions nearly invisible in the thick fog. Thomas's training kicked in. He methodically returned fire, the recoil of his rifle a familiar jolt. His comrades moved through the trees like ghosts, firing and advancing in a deadly dance. The battle was fierce, a cacophony of explosions and screams. Thomas saw his friend, Private Jenkins, fall to the ground clutching his side, blood staining the earth. Driven by adrenaline and anger, Thomas pushed forward, taking out the enemy one by one with precise shots. The skirmish left many of Thomas's comrades dead or wounded. As night fell, the surviving members of his unit regrouped. The forest, once an ominous labyrinth, now felt like a graveyard. They had to move deeper into enemy territory, their mission still unfinished. Thomas, along with a small group of soldiers, was tasked with scouting ahead. Their objective was to gather intelligence on a heavily fortified German position. Moving through the forest at night was a test of nerves and skill. The shadows seemed alive, every sound amplified in the silence. Thomas led his team with quiet determination, his senses attuned to every rustle and whisper. They encountered booby traps and patrols, narrowly avoiding detection. At one point, they had to wade through a freezing stream to bypass a German outpost, the cold water numbing their limbs. Thomas and his team reached a ridge overlooking the enemy camp. Using binoculars, they observed the layout and troop movements. The camp was heavily guarded, with watchtowers and barbed wire. Returning to their unit, they formulated a plan for a nighttime assault. The element of surprise was their only advantage. As night fell, the soldiers moved into position. The assault began with a coordinated barrage of grenades and mortar fire. Under the cover of darkness, Thomas and his team breached the perimeter. The forest erupted into chaos as bullets flew and explosions lit up the night. Thomas moved like a shadow, taking down enemies with swift precision. He fought through the confusion, his focus razor-sharp. In the heart of the enemy camp, Thomas found himself face-to-face with a German officer. The two engaged in a brutal hand-to-hand fight, their grunts and the clash of their weapons blending with the surrounding battle noise. Thomas, fueled by survival instinct, overpowered the officer, securing a vital piece of intelligence. The mission was a success, but the danger was far from over. As the dawn approached, Thomas and his unit had to retreat before reinforcements arrived. The forest became a deadly maze once again. Thomas led his team through the underbrush, evading enemy patrols with expert stealth. Their hearts pounded with every step, knowing that one wrong move could mean death. At one point, they stumbled upon a hidden German bunker. With quick thinking, Thomas rigged the entrance with explosives, ensuring the enemy would be delayed in their pursuit. The explosion echoed through the forest, a temporary reprieve from the relentless chase. During their retreat, Thomas encountered a wounded German soldier. The young man, barely older than himself, lay bleeding and terrified. Despite the language barrier and the enmity between their nations, Thomas couldn't leave him to die. He bandaged the soldier's wounds and gave him water. In that brief, silent exchange, they saw each other not as enemies, but as human beings caught in the cruel grip of war. The battalion regrouped and prepared for a final, decisive assault on the enemy's main stronghold. The forest was their battleground, a place where strategy and bravery would determine the outcome. The final attack was a symphony of warfare, explosions, gunfire, and the cries of the wounded creating a chaotic, deadly orchestra. Thomas fought with everything he had. He led his squad through the thick of the battle, his actions inspiring those around him. Amidst the chaos, he found himself separated from his unit once more, surrounded by enemy forces. Using the forest to his advantage, he engaged in guerrilla tactics, striking swiftly and disappearing into the shadows. Each moment was a test of his skill and nerve. When the smoke cleared, the Allied forces had taken the stronghold. The cost was immense, with many brave soldiers lying among the fallen. Thomas stood amidst the devastation, exhaustion, and relief washing over him. The mission was a success, but the price of victory weighed heavily on his heart. Epilogue. The war eventually ended, and Thomas returned home to Devonshire. The memories of the forest, the battles, and the camaraderie of his fellow soldiers stayed with him. He carried the scars, both physical and emotional, as a testament to the price of freedom. Thomas's story, like so many others, is a tribute to the bravery and sacrifice of those who fought in the war. Though he was just one soldier among many, his journey through the Ardennes forest stands as a reminder of the courage and resilience that define the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. The forest, once a place of fear and conflict, became a symbol of his journey, a testament to the enduring strength of those who faced the horrors of war and emerged as heroes, unseen but never forgotten. Like, subscribe and share for more interesting stories.